Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here. Sorry, I should have probably put some more lights on for this video, but I'm back at you with another video. And today, as it's a 23rd, I'm hoping to talk about charitable stuff, charity, sympathy, empathy, compassion, and all that good stuff, which I try and cover pretty much on the 23rd of each month. And sometimes I have a specific topic I wish to cover, but I thought I often try and think of causes or charities or groups I wish to support in any way I can, like fundraise for or whatever, and then I want to think of ways of how to do so. So hopefully maybe in February I'll think of how I wish to do so, so the methods, means and modes and ways or whatever I hope to do so, if modes is the right word, but anyway, the ways in which I hope to do so. And then what's the other thing, I suppose, or in February could be the reasons why I wish to support these groups, and then it could be the ways I wish to do so in March, and then in April it could be, say, when I wish to do so, and then May could be where I wish to do so, or something like that. So I've been trying to think of those sorts of things, like, so things I wish to support, what I wish to support, how I wish to support it, why I wish to support it, when and where, and that kind of thing. So I cover those for each different month, because if I try to cover all of them in one day, it would be too many videos, I think. But people already seem to be bored of me, so I would try not to waffle too much or do too many videos, basically. But anyway, I know on that note I am probably waffling a lot, but I hope you enjoy this video. And I did ask in the Q&A or the questions section, like the live chat section, what do you think are the most worthy causes, and are there any causes specifically that I probably should have asked it in the opposite order, but are there any specific causes which are close to your heart, whether it's raising money to tackle cancer, or supporting animals, or whatever, nature, or whatever it might be, supporting children or disabled people, or whatever other cause or charity you wish to support. So I put causes in speech mark because one or two of these things are things that you might not see as causes. So anyway, here are the causes or charities or things I wish to support. So number one, Italian football, and I'd love for Italian football to have, I know I've mentioned that one, I'd love for Italian football to have as much investment as possible, and I'd love to fundraise. If I had lots of money, I'd donate quite a lot of it. Not even invest, but actually donate, because an investment expects something in return. But I would donate to Italian football, and I suppose what I'd get in return is hopefully Italian teams at club and country level winning trophies. So I'd love to fundraise for football pitches over Italy, all over Italy, and that kind of thing. And anything that would benefit Italian football at club and country level, I'd love to go to Italy and coach and talk about my own ideas and learn from others and see what we can learn from each other and do to benefit Italian football. And also, I'd love for Italian teams, Serie A teams, to be co-owned, as often mentioned, by people, by companies, investors, organizations, even associations and whatnot, maybe even charities that begin with the same letter. So for instance, Cagliari, or however you pronounce it, as I'm saying, I'm only a fan of Italian football, so I'm not very good with the pronunciation or language or anything like that, but Cagliari, any Italians can probably put the name and then how you pronounce it, how you would best pronounce it, English, in brackets, if you'd be so kind, in the comments. But I'd love for Cagliari to be co-owned by companies that begin with, or investors even organizations, associations and whatnot that begin with C, AS Roma, possibly, but ones that begin with R, AC Milan, companies that begin with A, and again, investors, sponsors, organizations, associations and whatnot. Excuse me, which I mentioned in the past, like Apple, Amazon, Alibaba, and so on and so forth. Anyway, moving on, I think I covered that point in detail. But yeah, all possible Serie A teams, especially, I would love to be co-owned by all the possible companies around the world, and investors, organizations, and associations and whatnot that begin with the same letter, given alliterations, or same letters in some cases. But anyway, I think I covered that in enough detail for this video. So moving on, I'll probably cover that in more detail in the future about how I'd love for Italian football to get as much investment as possible. To Celtic FC, similar for Celtic FC, although it wouldn't be quite the same as like club and country, and it's only one club in Scotland that I'd love to see do well. But again, I'd love to go and coach and talk about my own ideas and what I think will benefit Celtic, and how we can have committees and think tanks and look at how they can acquire investment and sponsorship, and how they could perhaps brand themselves better. I'd love to use my neurodiverse creativity and my mad creativity, as they say, a method to the madness, to do so, to see whatever I could do to benefit those with a loss of voice. But on a serious note, what I could do to benefit Italian football at club and country level and Celtic. What a time to lose my voice, or be losing my voice. Number 3, libertarianism. Number 4, supporting people from former colonies. Number 5, tackling poverty and alleviating suffering. I went through those quite quickly because I know I cover those 5, what I call causes. Again, I put it in speech mark causes because Italian football and Celtic, many might not see as a cause, or many might not see as a worthy cause, but I use the term rather loosely. But again, I'd love to fundraise as much as I could for all of those sorts of things. Number 6, for what I call the 6, people of colour or Indigenous people, people of colour and stroke or Indigenous people from 6 regions of the world. Again, I know I mentioned this a while back, but from Africa, Australasia, the Americas, like Native Americans, for instance, or people of colour in America and across the Americas, Asia, because they were colonized, and also in particular 4 countries, 4 nations across Asia, especially, which are Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and Singapore, and basically developing nations and stroke or former colonies, to put it simply. Ireland is one of them as well. It's probably the only country in Europe that I would support financially, other than football-wise, outside of football and that kind of thing, especially in more diverse parts of Ireland and that kind of thing, and countries that were rather harshly hit by colonialism and the potato famine and things like that. So those areas that were most affected and went through the toughest hardships in those areas. Excuse me. And also Latin America, as it's an emerging market economy. Number 7, I know I mentioned this point before, but Italian football and Celtic, I'm going to mention it twice. Although the first 5 causes, as I call them, with the first 5 causes, if I could, I would split my time evenly, a fifth or 20%, however you like to put it, between each cause. So I'd love to spend, if I could, if I was more organised, then I could do so. But I like to be flexible, but I would love to spend, if I could, ideally, I would love to spend a fifth or 20% of my attention, time, money, resources, and whatever I have to give to each of those 5 causes that I first mentioned, the first 5 causes. Number 8, disadvantaged groups such as disabled people, homeless people, people of colour, or people who have suffered from discrimination historically or whatnot, and that kind of thing. I'd love to support their startups. I'd love to support them in business and just different areas, and like fundraise for them generally. Number 9, poets, artists, and writers from developing nations. If I could, I would love to keep flyers and leaflets with one side of them where many companies, or even charities or whatever, organizations, associations and whatnot, when they try and advertise stuff on flyers or leaflets or whatever, one side has what their business is or what they do and all that kind of thing, and the other side is left blank. And that side of the leaflet, if I could, I would love to give to artists in parts of Africa, Asia, Ireland, and those, and I already mentioned Asia and Australasia, and basically what I call 6, as or even disabled artists or artists from often disadvantaged backgrounds, if you like, to draw on. And in return, for helping me to do so, I would love to share those leaflets and the information on those leaflets on behalf of the company, to sort of say thank you. And number 10, I would love to support young people and the 10% poorest people in all possible nations. So I'd love to know what you think about that. Sorry, my voice is not very clear. I hope you can hear me. And I know there's some street work going on outside, so something going on outside. I think it's some street work or something. I don't know what they're doing there. But so again, sorry if you can't. Roadworks, I mean, street work. But yeah, sorry if you can't hear my voice that clearly. Anyway, I'm out.